Hey everybody, it's Mike.
And Katie.
And we're coming at you with episode 85. What's going on this week?
Today, it's the last installment of Indiana June with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
And so much more.
Always.
On Cup of Rad. I'm hypnotizing you. Hey everybody, it's us. We're back for another week. It's Indiana June, our final installment.
I already said all that, but that's cool. Thanks for the recap.
Well, just in case they pop in. You know, I don't know how people listen. Thank you for listening, by the way, for all of you that do listen.
I normally start my podcast a minute in, so, you know.
Wow.
I need coffee to wake up.
All right. Well, that's what we just poured.
I know, right?
Because that was part of the intro.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I walked right into that.
That was real coffee poured right then. Dun, dun, dun.
Fresh cup of red coffee.
Yeah, we're so fresh tonight.
I know. No, seriously, I need caffeine, so it'll be good.
Drink up, me hearties, yo ho. So, news. Hey, here's some news for you. Some fantabulous news.
Fantabulous news.
Well, I don't know if it's fantabulous news. But so, Disney is running, as of right now, 2 Pirates of the Caribbean projects. Or Caribbean, however you want to say it.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Or Caribbean.
Caribbean.
What
is wrong?
Caribbean.
There is one.
Caribbean.
There is one.
Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Yes,
Caribbean.
Proceed with Caribbean.
So they're doing a reboot feel that was talked about before with like maybe the Red character coming from one of the 2 of the creators from the original.
Okay.
So we're going to have a female lead. And now it's being said that within that universe, potentially there's another movie coming that's not part of that reboot that's being made with Margot Robbie, with the writer from Birds of Prey.
Huh.
So who knows how that's going to go? I find it very odd that they're doing 2 projects. I thought when it was announced that Margot Robbie was on board, it was like the same project that they announced.
Yeah.
But yeah, now so apparently we're going to have multiple.
So we're going to have lots of pirates. So we
lots of lady pirates.
Kind of not doing that great. So we're just going to throw a bunch of women at it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but you know, it could be fun. It could be, you know.
I'm always down for more pirate movies. I mean, I loved all of them. They're still fun in their own right in different ways. Some better than others, but still fun, right? And I just still like that world, so I'll take it.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Not a lot of other news besides the fact that more and more things are getting pushed back.
It's weird not having
Tenet
new
and
news.
whatchamacallem, Mulan was pushed back again. So with how everything's going, I'm pretty sure we'll see a lot more get pushed back. If not, things will start popping up on streaming.
Yeah.
Because they're just going to get to that point where they need to put them on there because they won't be able to survive.
Yeah.
If things continue to go as bad as they are with the pandemic.
Well, quite honestly, the world needs to start playing together to solve things, not just fighting amongst themselves. And then basically, yeah, on a more somber note, I saw the World Health Organization was basically like, it's only going to get worse if we keep squabbling among nations. Like, we need to think of this as a humanity crisis, not just a country individual crisis. So, and that's the sad thing, is that it shows how much we don't play well together, really.
Go home with my toys.
Right? Well, you know, because the only way something happens is money. And until really everyone starts really seeing a more of a long-term effect of money, it's not going to matter. Like, the bigger nations take longer for it. So it's an interesting fallout on that, right? So, but I have some good news. Some fun, exciting things. Completely unrelated to the horribleness. My hot toy Captain Marvel finally showed up.
That's right.
And I was so excited. It was the fastest shipping ever, too. It was like, 2 days from billing, and here you are. And I got it 2 days later.
But then we were like, we weren't sure if it was going to show up. It looked like it wasn't going to, because it was just like in traffic. Yeah,
and so it was awesome. Like,
and then it showed up like, and then just the end of the day
appeared, and he surprised me with it, which was quite funny, pretending like he didn't have it. And then they tried to be sneaky, but we I found it.
Yeah, I was pretty sneaky. I put it in one place and she literally stood right beside it and didn't even see it.
Yeah.
And then when I went to try and move it is when things went bad.
Kiddo kind of helped with that. But when Mike is sneaky, something's weird. I could tell right away, like you're honestly trying to hide something, because he was like trying to like be all covert walking up the stairs. Yeah, I'm onto you.
I was hunting a bug.
But anyways, this toy is...
So let's give a rundown. Here's Katie's quick sip.
So it's the Captain Marvel deluxe figure. So it came with the jacket and the extra blasty hands and...
Blasty hands.
Blasty. That's the official title, blasty hands.
Did it come? Was Goose part of the
Goose
deluxe?
Goose is part of the deluxe as well. I got the deluxe specifically for the jacket. That's what I really wanted it for. But overall... I like the light up feature is super fun. It is super blinding. Mm-hmm. You could use her head as a flashlight.
I can contest to that because
he stared right into it.
No. Well, you have no choice where the thing is, and you turn it, the switch and everything. It was like
it was pretty awesome. He was a little dazed looking.
Yeah. Burnt my retina out.
The costume itself and the design looks great.
It's beautiful looking.
It's wonderful to look at.
It looks very screen accurate.
Very limited articulation because of the material of the suit. It is more of it's kind of rubbery, plasticky feeling almost. It's not very stretchy, leathery feel. So when you move her arm, it crinkles a lot, and it very limits her, like her hip motion and her knee and everything like that.
Yeah, she doesn't have a lot of movement to be able to get her arms forward. I can't get her arms higher than like nipple height.
Yeah, so she's like she's more of a statue feeling.
Yeah.
But my favorite, I think she will always stay this way, is with her helmet and her light up hair going on, because that's my favorite version of it. So
now, what I gotta say though is with that light up feature, Thor's is a pain in the butt because it's part of his cape spot on the hot toy. And that part has to click up, and it's connected to where the little dots are on his chest. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't just come off easily, right? And with the Captain Marvel figure, the head slides on so easy, on and off, that to turn that light on and off to get the eyes and the mohawk to glow is fantastic. Mm-hmm. Because it's even easier than, say, the Cyclops from the Mezco. Okay. Pop on because that has more of a pull. Like you actually got to pull.
I could do it no problem and not feel like I was going to break it.
Yeah,
and that's a mark of like an easy joint.
Now the glowy hands. That's a different story.
He wanted to curse. He had pliers out because of that was Doc Strange. Never mind. But it was, you have to pull off so many different layers.
We got to take the hand off, and the hand is extra sensitive because it's connected to the glow feature. So you can't twist it. You have to.
Well, then you kept putting the hand back on, and it would turn the light off.
Well, because the gauntlets are separate. So then the gauntlet pushed up and turned the switch off. Yeah. So then I had to take everything off to turn the switch back on. And you couldn't move the gauntlet at all. Yeah. But also too, the fabric is a little loose at the arm, so you couldn't hold the fabric without pulling on it, and it started bunching. So then I started panicking. So the head, fan-friggin-tastic.
The hands, stressful.
A little stressful, and because it's a very tight fit, and it kind of freaked me out about with how much like the instructions were like. You know, you break this, you done fucked up.
But I like all the different attachments to it. It has a couple different types of like glowy punch hands, and like as I say, the deluxe figure had these like long shootout like power blast things, and then it had extra things to add to her arm around her gauntlet, a couple different types of gauntlet, and then she's just got regular like punch hands that are kind of transparenty, glowing themselves. So they're the same size of hands. It's not like a power bubble or anything. So those are fun. I think we'll leave her as Mohawk for a while, and then we got to put her coat on and everything like that. So I'm stoked to have it.
Oh no, it looks great.
But it's been a fun addition to the cabinet, and it prompted us to turn around and kind of make some changes to our other hot toys. Mm-hmm. We have two. Finally got Doc Strange. I've been wanting to put more of the open eye necklace on with his like time swirly green additions to his hands, and then you got him in a nice like meditation Zen pose floating, which is awesome. So a little bit of fun differences with that. They're fun. So yeah, that was my fun news.
Yeah, it was exciting. It was exciting. It was just saying because it's.
I mean, it's been so long. It was going to be my Christmas.
Yeah, you ordered it last March.
It's a whole 6 months later than I had planned.
Yeah. So it's Christmas in June for you.
Yeah.
But then something else exciting for myself happened.
Oh, yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Thunder, Thundercats.
Oh!
That's right. I finally broke Katie, and she ordered some Thundercats for me from Super 7, the Ultimates. They won't be around for quite some time because they're just gone into production, so it'll be quite the wait.
So even though it says June on there?
Oh, yeah. They literally just posted the other day that but they said they put everything in production now.
Oh, okay.
So the others, I don't know if that means the other stuff will be a little earlier or if it'll still be a little, wait time and all that.
I really
for the
wish
waves.
they would change that because, I mean, it's literally the end of June and it still says June. And I'm like, okay, well, then I don't want to, like, when can I have to order, like, the whole wave? Well, you know, that's everything that's going to go right now, right? So.
Well, Mezco still says Harley and Gambit are supposed to ship now, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
No one.
A lot of these companies wait until, like, it'll be like July 1st and then they'll change it.
Okay.
Right. So.
Well, then again, I mean, I should know better right now. A 6-month delay on the hot toy. I know it's not unheard of for the hot toys to be delayed, but still, a 6-month
That was a pretty big delay, though.
Is a big delay for it. And you can't tell me it was just design. You know it was COVID related, too.
Yeah. So. But I'm excited for those. Those are some nostalgia.
We got Lino, we got Panthro, Tigra, Chitara, and the Mumra Everliving. Sorry,
yeah.
Everliving. So he's a big, huge guy, and he comes with a dog.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, because of the roar, I want the little skinny mummy dude.
Then we should order it.
Because he's.
If you think we should order more Super 7 Thundercats, clap 3 times.
Let me guess. I can hear the clapping, right?
I can.
Yeah, I know. Yay!
Especially for the mutants as well.
Oh, that's no. You know what? For mutants, I'm gonna need some sort of like social media presence on that one.
Okay.
He's like, I'm on it.
Okay. If you think that we should order the Mummy Mumra and the mutants,
prioritize the list of things, please. Tell me what was most important.
Send Katie gifts on Instagram.
Yep.
So of Thundercats.
Yep.
Or comment on any of her posts on Instagram. It's RADkatie86.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
So
don't worry. I'm pretty sure he'll be posting.
I'll put it in the story.
Here's Katie's Instagram. Please blow it up with Thundercat gifts. Thank you for that. I'm gonna be so excited. Instagram's gonna be so much fun now.
All these people that you don't know sending you gifts.
What is this?
So another thing, we were looking at
people have spoken,
right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to be like,
have spoken.
They're going to be like, dude, you need the rest.
You know, we have so much on pre-order for Big Bad. It's impressive between the Star Wars Black
I'm so
series
excited for those though.
And have you told the world that you have pending birthday or graduation presents coming? From Big Bad?
No. Because I'm lucky enough to have a mother-in-law that loves toys. And Katie showed her a few things that I've been drooling over. And she has ordered the Popeye Bluto Sailor Seas pack for me.
Isn't that awesome?
Which I'm pretty stoked about, and I can't wait to be able to get that.
I'm so excited because, I mean, it's sold out on there.
Yeah.
Like, you actually got it. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
So that one there, I'm really looking forward to. There's a lot of memories there with my grandfather and all that with Popeye, and I missed the first time around. I have the original Mezco when they did the cartoon series one. Mm-hmm. So this will be really cool to have. And then also to the Supreme Knight, the old Batman. The PX exclusive one, so I'm really stoked for that. So
there's so much awesome things coming from Big Bad.
It's gonna be fantastic.
It's gonna be fun. Christmas is done, apparently.
Yeah, honestly, I've got to that point in the age where I'd rather just be like, hey, let's order these things, and know that I'm getting these things. And
that's what I do with my hot toys.
If it means like having to, if stuff comes in early or whatever, just putting it away for Christmas, I'd rather that than be like, right? The Tina growl.
I was gonna say that was pretty good,
right? But one other fun thing is I'm looking at a few different ways to do some recording, so we might bring back the interviews this summer. Mm-hmm. but we're looking to do better quality ones than we'd done last year.
Well, yeah, that was the biggest thing for us, is really making sure we found a platform that would allow for, an audio quality that would reflect what we have been able to get right now.
Yeah, exactly. And so, because otherwise it was a little more chaotic, and you're dealing with timing and internets and all that. So
many layers of technology.
Yeah.
And it fails us.
so hopefully the few things I'm looking at will work for us. So
yeah. So if you're interested, by all means,
we'll
reach out.
And we'll look at doing some little 20-minute interviews.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Short and sweet. Lots of fun. Find rad dudes, dudettes.
I was going to say.
Duderinos. I use dude for everybody.
So do I.
I literally
I do too. I'm one of those people that I'm like, dude, that's what
it's just how I am. I'm a Ninja Turtle at heart, and everyone's a dude.
You're a dude.
I identify as a Ninja Turtle.
Dude.
Dude? I mean, totally.
You know what,
I eat pizza. I do kung fu moves.
We were watching, it seems like a real roundabout way to do this, but we were watching was it National Geographic on Disney Plus? The Greeks episode. We finally just finished that one. And it was talking all about Socrates on there. And Mike's quiet throughout the whole thing. This shows up, and he's like, he brings it back to Bill and Ted. It's just like, Socrates! And Kiddo was like, oh yeah, Socrates. Like, that's what he got out of it. Yeah, well, you know what? You learned something. You knew who he was from Bill and Ted.
Exactly.
So we're good, right?
I learned things. I am smart.
It was funny. So anyways.
But the main event, we're here. It's done. Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
It's
we made it.
We made it. We got through. It was a lot easier than X-Men.
Yes.
A little bit more.
So much easier.
Only 4.
Uh-huh.
So So Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out like a bazillion years after.
Yeah.
It came out in 2008.
What, you said it was 12 years old? Yeah.
Yeah, it was 12 years old. So.
Well, you know what?
Compared to 89 to
that was
2008.
Insane difference. I was really excited to watch this again only because I don't have the greatest memories of it, and I wanted to see if it was really still that way, or if I was in okay, I can get behind this a little bit more. So that was exciting to see. And of course, Kiddo had never seen this one as well either, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
I didn't have any sort of hardcore animosity towards it, which was nice. I don't know if maybe I was just more forgiving of the fact that he's not the same one because he's so much older and you can't have it that way, but I think they did a decent job for what they were given for them being older and everything. For the most part, I liked, opposed to my complaint from 2 and 3, them not solving an archaeological mystery. That's one thing I really liked with this one, was that he was back to solving more of a mystery of finding
I thought he did kind of find in 3 because they're going after the Grail.
Well, yeah, but not this. But there was these riddles and everything, right? There was some things for it, but opposed, not the same as Raiders was, where they actually had to solve some sort of thing like that, right? So I think with that, because he had to solve riddles and find artifacts and all that sort of stuff, so it reminded me a little bit more of that aspect. But bringing too much of the alien, it was still a little hard to grasp. Yeah, it wasn't horrible because I'm not opposed to the idea of aliens, but it was still just a little weird at the same time. So
it became a little too much science fiction when the series seemed a little bit more paranormal.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, exactly. So your thoughts?
I don't remember hating the movie. I just remember having parts of the movie I disliked. Yeah. Right, as a whole. And from watching it again, I felt like the same beats that I hit, what I disliked watching it, were things I remembered about disliking it prior. Yeah. The original watching. I don't think it's a bad, I think it's the weakest of the 4. Yeah. For sure. Because it relies a lot more on the humor and the old age and a little bit more of the goofy pulp fiction feel, especially with getting into the aliens and all that. But things that the beats that bothered me were, I think, the ants go on a little too long. There was no real surprise, right? And the Tarzan scene.
I was going to say, as soon as the monkey showed up, I was like, yep, I remember hating the scene.
Yeah, the Tarzan scene, I think, is really hard because it really makes no sense.
I don't know. Okay, he suddenly knows how to swing.
Well, he is a, greaser dude, so he knows how to swing.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Daddy-o.
And then the monkeys suddenly have decided that, what did Kiddo call him? He's the Monkey King now.
Yeah. Well, the one monkey had a pompadour. He had a pompadour. They connected spiritually.
It was a bro bond.
Yeah.
Monkey bro bond.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was weird. And
it's just going to go downhill if I go. It was weird and forced.
Oh, I'll walk right into that one. Okay.
He grabbed.
Just keep going. Just move forward.
This monkey looked him in the eye and he just grabbed that vine and just swung hard.
Took it like a champ.
But yeah, that was one of the scenes that was a little bit more, which is like, seriously. And I didn't like the ending with the...
Oh, and by the way, and the fact that the monkeys only beat up the bad guys. How he magically knew which were the bad guys.
Because it was the bro bond.
Because the Monkey King.
The Monkey King bro bond that he had when they were swinging. And when the aliens converge into one, and then like you see it quite a bit, and I don't know, it just bugged me. I'm
still wondering if it was more in her mind.
Fair enough, but we still didn't need to see it.
That's true.
When you look at like Raiders, you didn't get to see what was the actual thing that was blasting them all.
I guess, you make a good point. You have this suspense of what exactly was the magic behind it right?
You still saw the spirits and stuff that were ripping around, but you never saw the actual force that was inside that was creating it.
Yeah.
So they easily could have just had all the alien skulls blasting her with energy, and then she just explodes. Simple, easy.
I like the flaming eyes. It didn't add anything to it.
It was like, hey, we have CG.
We can make an alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And also, too, by doing that, they only gave you little glimpses of what they could possibly have looked like. And then now you get what they thought
it's
they
like,
looked like.
This is what they really are.
The stereotypical alien.
The stereotypical alien. Yeah.
Right. So...
And also kind of like the white like thing from Star Wars. Caminos, yeah.
Well, they just had pretty much made those movies.
And how about I'm just realizing how much they look like that. So
if they had been those aliens, that would have been frigging awesome.
It would have been
right?
So cool.
If it had actually been the Camino aliens, like to a T, that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Because then you would have been like, whoa, they're connected.
Right? So Kiddo thought the movie was actually quite cool. He liked the alien angle, but he said it was weirdly cool. So you can tell he couldn't quite make up his mind of what he actually thought about the aliens.
Good, bad, I don't know, but it's kind of nifty.
Right? So he said that it was, he really found it creepy when the skull snapped to the skeleton, when it was all magnetized with that, and it all kind of came alive and everything. He kind of freaked out about that. His favorite scene, which I was surprised about, honestly, was the diner scene, because he loved the giant brawl and then the chase afterwards, though. The chase made sense, but he just thought that it was funny that they were fighting in the diner. So that little bit of like
American graffiti.
Yeah, graffiti type feel, right? So he thought that was funny. He thought the same thing with the monkeys. He was mocking us with that. So
yeah, well, because it was a weird scene. Like, it was like too juvenile almost.
Yeah, but he did overall enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he still had fun. Yeah. I say it's not a bad movie. It's the weakest of it. And we never totally glazed over the fact that. So the story is basically the fact that Indiana Jones gets pulled back into doing things. Seems like he's more just a teacher now.
Yeah.
And the
Russians are the bad guys.
They've gone through the war and
Oh, and Kiddo got to learn about nuclear blasts and nuclear test sites in Area 51.
Yeah.
And that was always fun.
So, there was things in there. There's actually not a lot of trivia or things that I found about it. in the end of it, there was supposed to actually have been 5 Indiana Jones movies, but the strife that was created between Spielberg and Lucas during the 80s basically hindered that. And then Harrison Ford had taken off in the 90s with clearing Present Danger and Patriot Games and Fugitive and stuff like that. So he didn't really have the time for it. And he'd always wanted to do all 5. So he did jump, and that's why he's been so adamant after like doing a little bit of the digging and all that. That's why he's been so adamant of that no one else is going to play Indiana Jones, is because he never got his 5 movies. Oh,
okay. Well, that makes a little bit more sense. Then he was like, it's not like he didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
He was always,
but it was always supposed to be just with that crew. It was like, that was the deal. You know, it's kind of like Michael Keaton saying he'd never do Batman again without Tim Burton, which is kind of interesting now that he's going to do Batman again.
Yeah.
Right. So, it's just, it's like that kind of like,
okay,
that feeling there. So I don't know. Apparently too, he, was in such good shape still, size wise, that, his measurements hadn't really changed.
Oh, wow.
He apparently was how he was in Crusade.
Oh, wow.
So
that's impressive. I thought it was funny with him, with Mutt, what a name, that he was totally okay with him not going to school and everything when he wasn't his kid, but as soon as he finds out that it's his dad, what the hell, why did you quit school? Like, why did you let him?
Dad.
Yeah, it was so funny. I was like, yeah, that seems about what he would do too. So I fell right into the trap of what his dad would have done to him, right? So.
Oh yeah, you see all those beats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one thing though that I noticed, that the movie should have just ended with them up on the rock at the end instead of the wedding scene.
Yeah. Because
it would have been a bit more hearkened to the all the other movies where you never really found out how they got back.
Yeah.
They would just ended in the desert, right?
What did you learn? You had trivia about the companion numbers.
Yeah, but then it was just disproven though.
Because he wasn't till the very end.
Right?
You're right. It was mostly to the end.
I found a thing about trivia saying that throughout each movie, he only had one companion. It's like the first movie had one companion at the end. So it was Marion, right? Mm-hmm. And so she was the last one at the end. And then the second one had Short Round and I can't remember whatever her name was.
The Screeching Girl.
Howler Monkey. So then there was 2. Second movie, there's 2.
Yeah.
And then the third one, he ends it and he's got Brody, Sala, and his dad, right? Mm-hmm. So then this one said that then there was...
And there was 4. Max, Mutt, Marion, and Oxley.
Yeah.
But then Max ends up dying,
right? So he wasn't there till the end.
Yeah.
Right? But he still was.
I mean, it's close. It's there. It's kind of interesting to still see that though, the addition of people there and everything.
So if we ever do get that 5th from James Mangold, there should be 5 of them.
Yeah.
It makes sense because he's going to be so old. Each of them are going to run. He's going to become like the Megazord. And there's going to be someone to control each appendage, right?
That's fabulous. I think we should just leave it like that. Indiana Jones becomes the Megazord. Mic dropped.
You got the title right there. I mean... I'm still curious to see if this is ever going to happen because especially with COVID and all that, like it's taking forever. He
ain't getting any younger.
He has lawsuits now because of his flying. He's been, he's been having his accidents with his flying and.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. There's I forget what's happening right now, but he landed on a wrong runway or something. So now there's he's got a little mini court battle going or something.
Oh goodness.
But he's getting so old that he was just like, I'm landing this plane. Right?
He's getting full old man. Old man stubborn.
I don't know. I know we haven't watched Call of the Wild, but he looked pretty old in that.
Yeah.
So, and he was looking pretty old in Star Wars. So, you got to think of.
He was old in the last one. That was 12 years ago.
So if you think, then it was 2008 is when that came out, right? Mm-hmm. And that was what? How much of a gap in the
from 89 to 2?
Yeah, but in the movies.
Oh, in the movies.
It went from 36 to 57.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So it jumped.
So 21 years.
Yeah. So now we're gonna be in real time. It was originally supposed to come out in 2022, but I doubt that's gonna happen. So let's say 2023.
Yeah.
So since 2008, right?
Yeah, that's a long.
So then you got to think. So we're gonna be skipping the 60s. It's gonna be probably the 70s in the movie universe.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they can spin that then with the...
To make it an action adventure.
Yeah.
And that's why I wonder if that's why they've hired Mangold to write and direct, because it's going to be a swan song. Because it's
going to be Old Man Indy.
Yeah. He's just going to be like... The first trailer is going to be like Johnny Cash playing. You know it. He's just going to be like the hurt song.
Yeah. Yeah, that works. You know, one of my favorite scenes, though, from that, though, was all the Area 51 stuff, because I love the conspiracies for that.
Oh, that was a cool scene, though.
I mean, I love all of that, and I don't know, there's a weird pride for that, for, like, yes, Nevada. I don't know why.
Go Nevada.
You know what? You don't understand it. But
no, I don't.
It's like... It's this weird, like, yeah, we have the most, like, conspiracy-laden, you know, secretive place ever. Right there.
Yeah, but it almost got broken into last year with those Naruto runners. So.
That sentence seems so ridiculous. Oh, my God. I can't believe that was, like, real life. Oh, gosh. Anyways, but
that disappeared quickly.
Yep.
Right? Because it's Area 51. Because here come the Men in Black. We all got mind
God, I
wiped.
can hear it now. I can hear it.
Here come the Men in Black. Men in Black.
Oh, that music video shows up way too much on our, like, retro music video station.
Yep, and so do the Spice Girls.
And so many Spice Girls. So anyway, speaking of music, we have Theo's music.
That's right. Theo from Insane Dragon Ball has graced us with another tune. So
enjoy. And we're back.
We are back. Are you back?
Did you miss us?
Yeah, you know. I don't know. He was rocking pretty hard on that one, so that was pretty good. Thanks for that, dude. Where are we at now?
More movies.
More movies. More things we have watched.
So, first up, Mike's like, you know what? Pick a movie.
Oh, this is like pulling teeth. Like, it was like torture for her.
You know what's so funny is I have so many different movies that I actually put on, but even my little, like, basket of movies that I own for myself, like, if I have, like, that Katie can pick whatever she wants, I go to a very limited selection of movies.
I just want to, like, so I don't seem like I'm like an asshole here. She's got multiple shelves of movies, not just a basket.
I do. No.
She's a basket of Tom Cruise movies. But
okay, no, and it's nothing to do with. Sorry for the weird interlude. Someone has some sort of loud equipment outside. But no, we have most of our movies are our own together movies, but I have like my rom-coms and everything like that, right? So then when I have a choice to actually watch a movie, I go to a very limited selection. So I'm always like, oh yeah, that looks good. And then I never sit down and try to watch something new. Very rarely. So
I'm very much about what's new.
I know very much.
I've watched it once. I don't need to see it again.
I've watched Dirty Dancing 50 million times. Sure, I'll watch Dirty Dancing again. So, but one of them on our Netflix watch list that has been there forever was Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile. And that's been on there for a very long time. And it was more of just, it was definitely an interest of just finding out more about it. When I was a teenager in high school, for a while I wanted to be a psychiatrist. I read all about different types of mental disorders and serial killers as well, all sorts of things. And I Ted Bundy was one of the ones that I didn't actually know a lot about. Like I knew about him more casually for stuff, knew of who he was, those types of things, but I didn't really dig into a lot of research. I did more Gacy and stuff like that. So this one was interesting that I actually did really learn a lot about him. I had no idea that he had killed in so many states. That was shocking for me. I thought it was much more localized, but the sheer area makes sense of why he was able to kill so many.
Yeah.
The more you spread out, the harder it is for law enforcement to connect them over time, right? Zac Efron did an amazing job with him. He played the charming intellect sociopath so well, and they did a great job of portraying how much he manipulated people, and that's the only way you're successful, and that is if you can manipulate people.
Yeah.
And he did such a really good job on it. So I was impressed with the way it laid out. So
well, it's more of a human story because it's more from his girlfriend's point of view.
Yeah, it's written from her book of living with him, right? So yeah, it was definitely that's.
I think that's where the title. I don't think they should have gone with that title.
Yeah.
Because it made
it look like you were going to learn more about the actual murders.
Yes. I was waiting for the incredibly wickedly vile and shocking things to happen.
Yeah.
But it is a complete dramatic piece.
Yeah.
And there's not even a lot that's actually talked about the murders that he did.
Yeah, it's small snippets within the courtroom itself.
Yeah. So I think that's one thing that kind of took a bit to adjust my thinking. As I'm watching it, I'm waiting for him to go psycho and start seeing those things, right?
Yeah, it wasn't really the shock value of learning about the actual crimes themselves. Yeah.
So but once I was able to reconcile that and realize that, well, actually no, it's more of the internal torment that came from her, and it was shockingly horrible, vile to her mentally because she never experienced. She only heard from those things, right?
Yeah.
And then seeing the photos at the end and all that,
because he was never that way to her.
Yeah. So then it made more sense to see it from that, to see that the horrors that took place, in that way.
Yeah.
How it affects people on almost an everyday way versus the glorified Hollywood way.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what made it interesting.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and it was interesting to see how the court case laid out, how many times he escaped. And, it's impressive that they were actually able to still keep him and bring him to justice. But being the first publicized court case and how much they used a little bit more of, it was almost against them. So it shows in what a case they did have that because he was trying to persuade people so much, having a camera on him, that they are lucky that it didn't do damage to their case more. But I think he shot himself in the foot because he had the arrogance of thinking he could represent himself, no problem. And so his own arrogance brought him down too, right?
Yeah.
He didn't have anyone else. And it's because he was guilty. So then he kept trying to spin other things out of it. And you can only get yourself out of 30-something murders, with clear evidence against you, right? So yeah, it was enjoyable. But you're right, it was definitely a different take.
Yeah.
But we're not used to seeing a serial killer documentary type thing in that aspect, rather than more of a news report on it, or some sort of academic study. It was
usually
just another person's
either
view
from the killer or the detective's view.
Yeah,
right.
So from someone like that, it was definitely a different style.
Yeah, so I think that they had maybe done a different title, because I heard a lot of people were disappointed because it wasn't what they were expecting. Right.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. It's that almost that little bit of that false marketing.
If it had actually been the title of her book, then it would have made more sense.
Yeah.
It would have been very clear that it was my life with him type thing, right?
So you get that idea that the side, but he did a good job of it. I'm curious to see when he's going to start acting again, because I know this movie really kind of messed him up.
Yeah,
because he got pretty deep into it, and that's why he ended up running off with his brother. And
they did all the nature stuff.
They did all the nature in the Columbia. They got the Columbia thing, outdoor stuff.
Yeah,
and they started doing YouTube videos and things like that, because he's
been doing a lot of
bleached his hair, and he was I need to
he looks totally
away.
Different. Yeah.
So I'm curious to see when he's gonna kind of step back in the ring of acting, because it's pretty terrifying to think of that he felt that he got so deep into that character that it was like...
Yeah, it's always scary when actors say that. Then it's like you definitely worry about them, right? There's a point then when it's like, well, do we really need to make things about these people then if they're gonna just totally fuck actors up?
Yep.
You know, is there a level that we don't really need to mimic it? Like,
exactly.
You know, maybe we can just say the idea of the Ted Bundy tapes and stuff like that and talk about and do more of a research rather than reenactment of it.
Yeah. Well, because
no one should want to have to go to that place.
He didn't necessarily have to play the violent side of Bundy. He had to play the charismatic, the side that got away with it.
Yeah, the lying side, the one that knew everything but was okay and reconciled it in his head that he did nothing wrong. Yeah. And that's the psychopath. That's the scary part, right? Is the person who can actually lie to your face and say, no, I didn't kill that person and butcher her, because in his head he thinks it's totally fine.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So speaking of which, the director that did this also was the director of the Bundy tapes that is on Netflix as well.
Netflix keeps telling us that we need to watch it. So.
Yeah. And everything I've read is basically watch the movie first and then watch the tapes. That's the order that you should do it, because the fact that the movie, the tapes were all done with his confessions before he was executed.
Yeah, it's impressive that. So it shows that it said that he waited until he had lost every chance of appeal, and then he finally gave in and confessed. And it was like, okay, I'm not getting out of this. But he held his innocence until every ounce of appeal. Yeah,
and he confessed to about 30 murders.
Yeah, more than they even had.
They figure he actually probably
there was more,
up close to 100. I was reading that they have started connecting, that they think that it
so much the same MOs for things.
Yeah,
right?
Which is
and especially because when you look at stuff like that and you're like, okay, well, technically you could have a copycat killer because so much of it was actually still the court cases were out and everything like that, but he still hadn't confessed, so it does reduce copycat killers a bit.
Yeah.
Unless they're just trying to ride off the wave and be like, look, he's not guilty because these are still happening and he's in prison type thing.
Yeah.
But at the time they hadn't really been showing up. So if you find all these cases from the times that he was out, then there's a high probability that it was him. Right?
Yeah.
So,
which is terrifying. It's terrifying what humans can do, especially when we're passed on that generational trauma.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it's a horrific thing, but serial killers have always mesmerized me, not in like any sort of like groupie type of way, because it was scary to see.
I think in general, though, women are attracted to that.
I know, and it's weird, and I can see.
And I know there's a few. I know a few people that are too, right? Like not but like that idea of like the headgear thinking.
Well, yeah, like, and I can see where I could go down that path, because for a while when I was younger, I was like that. It was this very much of an intrigue for it, and not like I would search someone out and like fall in love with them in prison type thing. Like, not because I know that there's women that are like that, right? But it's the psychological aspect of it, and I think it's hard to wrap our heads around the fact that someone can do this, you know, and it is horrific and it's terrifying, but it's amazing what our brains can actually justify in our head or make us have to create some sort of trauma that's the only way to fix that trauma in their head. And it's just so weird. And it's overwhelming, and it's, you know, it's sad to see that some people's brains are like that. And then it's very sad, of course, that people have to pay for when our brains are, you know, out of whack like that. Right. So
mental health is real and it needs to be checked. And if you ever feel that you've got something going on, you need to reach out.
Yeah.
There's someone that can understand.
Yeah. You never know what someone can help point out, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, there we go.
So speaking of mental health, we're rolling into another, it went like from like Indiana Jones to like dark.
So then Mike got to pick a movie that'd been on our list.
Yeah. Well, so I'd seen a list, and I like, with watching Community and Glow and all that, I had seen that Alison Brie had done a movie she co-wrote. It was called Horse Girl, and it came out this year. So I was like, okay, it was on Netflix there. And I was like, let's, you know, the trailer. At first I was like, well, Horse Girl, what's it going to be about? You know, like, is it going to be about a girl or a horse? Like,
yeah, at first I'm like, because when you had said originally something, I'm like, really, Mike? Really? What is this?
I was just hoping to see Annie's boobs.
Yeah, I know.
All right. No. So I watched the trailer, and the trailer had some dark stuff in it. And I was like, okay, this could be kind of like, what's it about, right?
It looked a little more like a horror.
Yeah, it has a couple. So we checked it out. And it is a very twisted film it's very dramatic. It's not grotesque or horror. Mm-hmm. It is solely just a film about someone having a mental break.
Yeah.
And it's seen from the person having the mental break's point of view more than anyone else.
Everyone, really cool. You don't see them having it externally.
Yeah.
You are experiencing it from her point of view completely, which was really cool.
So, and then you're also experiencing any of the time lapses that she's having as well, so that when things happen, she doesn't even know what's happening. Like, it's like the idea of like, well, how did this get here? And they're just like, well, I don't know. I was asleep. Like, so you find out that her grandmother had a disorder.
You don't know what
it was, and she died on the street. And her mom ended up committing suicide, right?
And it sounds like the suicide there was kind of the catalyst for her.
Yeah, because that was like a year ago. Yeah, so she's very, very meek, very kind of like keeps to herself.
Yeah.
And
she's obsessed with the horse that she apparently used to own.
Yeah, and used to ride, and there's something there that never really was explained. Mm-hmm. With her friend.
There was obviously some sort of incident.
Yeah.
And her friend looked like she had been permanently injured from it.
Yeah, exactly. So there's some things that you know.
There's a lot of you don't get the answers to everything.
No.
And that was a weird thing to have to reconcile.
Mm-hmm. But it pretty much is a movie about schizophrenia. Mm-hmm. When you start playing it up and all that. But there is also the idea that there is the idea of possible time travel.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what was kind of trippy, because like they kind of like wink and nod that was this time travel in Aliens?
Yeah.
Or is it just schizophrenia? And I think being all told more from her point of view, it really helps showcase the dangers of someone's mental break. Mm-hmm. And all the different things, all the delusions and the hallucinations that they go through.
How real they are.
And how real they are to them. So it was really well acted.
Yeah.
And it was trippy, and it had some really weird.
She really changed throughout the movie. Mm-hmm. And you could tell when she suddenly had decided that this was what was going on, she was so much more confident.
Yeah.
And she was so sure of things and very much, hyped up and everything, and so different than she was before. And it was really interesting to see that change.
Yeah.
I like she's talking to like a counselor type thing, and I like that he says, she's telling him all about it, just matter of fact, about her theories on time travel and aliens and whatnot. And he says, okay, I believe you. I believe that this is what you are experiencing. And I love that it wasn't like, you're correct, or yes, I understand, or any placating, but he was just honest to the fact that I'm not going to say that you're crazy. I'm not going to say that you're imagining things, but I believe that what you tell me is your truth. And I think that was, that's a good place to start with someone who you can't rationalize with, because that is their reality. They would never think that they need medication or counseling or something, because to them, that is what's normal.
Yeah.
And, people who deal with that, kudos to them.
Yeah.
Because to try to help someone who is ingrained in a hallucination, in a delusion, I can't imagine. So, again, the importance of having people who can treat that stuff and understanding that there are people that need help when it comes to that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely a trip, and it leaves you thinking at the end.
Well, because we sat there and we're like, well, what about this? And we didn't get an answer to this. And what if it could mean this?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I firmly believe that at the end she's killed herself.
Yeah.
Just with the way it is, and the peaceful, the serenity and all that, and the weirdness that happens at the end, it's not graphic. It's just matter of fact.
Yeah.
Kind of feeling.
But it's a little existential.
Yeah. So if you check it out, you're in a bit for a tour de force of acting.
Yeah.
Something that you're not used to seeing, especially from Alison Brie, because, she's usually been doing a lot more comedy. even with Glow, there's a lot more comedy, but you just get to see her dramatic chops in that. Speaking of which, I don't think we ever mentioned we finished the 3rd season.
I don't know if we did talk about it. I thought we did.
I think it happened like in between episodes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And yeah.
So, but that's a fantastic series. Can't wait for season 4.
Yeah, totally.
Because.
Oh, my goodness.
So.
Okay.
But yeah. Horse Girl. It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. So I think it's worthwhile, especially if you're into those kind of psychological dramas, but the actual mental health of it, right? So.
Nice. So.
Ready?
Ready.
We're going to jump back into something else. We're going to jump back into the jungle.
Back into the jungle, yes. So our library had opened up and free movie rentals come back. Because I refused to pay for this. She's
like adamant, which is hilarious because like...
I normally love The Rock.
She's like yeah, she's on The Rock. Like...
Jumanji 2.
No. Jumanji The Next Level.
Yeah.
Because is it Jumanji 2 or is it Jumanji 3?
Jumanji The Next Level, a.k.a. the Jumanji that didn't need to be made. Is that better?
Is that your firm belief on this?
That is my firm belief. Okay, so my quick recap. Not as bad as it could have been. I did enjoy a lot of it. So I'm still happy I watched it. But I'm also still happy I didn't pay for it.
Yeah. Okay, so the remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it, Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, friggin' loved it. It was a great spin with not tarnishing the old Robin Williams Jumanji.
Yeah, I loved it.
And it kind of like added to the mythos of like the game changing. That's why with Jumanji The Next Level, it didn't really feel warranted because it didn't really feel like something had changed to warrant more of this, right?
Yes. And that's why when they first announced it, I'm like, really? This doesn't make sense.
And it is one of the fastest turnarounds for a big studio movie sequel ever. It was filmed in 2019, post-production in 2019, and released in 2019.
Oh, wow.
That's why the CG looks so bad.
That explains it, yes.
Because it was so fast. It was Sony jumping on the bandwagon of like, holy crap, this Jumanji thing actually panned out for us. How fast can we get this out, right? So, it has some funny moments.
Yeah.
It has some questionable moments. It has some, but yeah, it felt very flat.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you know what I think too, that so much of the premise, like I enjoyed some of the, for lack of better words, the old man humor because of the friendship and the getting old and the crotchiness.
That felt different then.
I liked that it was different, but my only worry was that it wasn't going to translate to maybe some younger people possibly, or something a little bit younger than us type thing that might not find that humor with that. And I was kind of worried with Kiddo not really understanding some of the humor that was there with it as well. But I liked that it was different though. Yeah. So
because then the characters were different, right?
Yeah. And so it was fun to see them that they were different avatars with that. And you got to see each one of those actors be a little bit different. It wasn't just Bravestone how you would have had him from before, and so it allowed for some really funny moments for sure. And it was still a relief when they switched to normal and, they're regular people only because there was some confidence levels in them. But, so there was a lot of good and I laughed a lot. But I also feel like if it hadn't been made, I wouldn't be missing something. Yeah. See, that's what's like I had a good time. Like I enjoyed watching it. Yeah. And at the end, it felt like it was like a direct-to-video sequel. Yeah. Where you're right. Like you catch it on a Saturday afternoon. It was like, fun. It was free and fun. Like it was just on cable. Like if it had been a Netflix original, we would have watched it and not bat an eye. Yes. Right. But the fact that it went to theaters, I think that's it didn't have. If I had spent $45 on it, I would not have been happy. Right. And I think that was a downfall for it for sure. So the odd fact is that they're making another one. They were greenlit for the third one. I really want to know how they're going to swing this so that it doesn't feel super forced. So, well, the third one is going to be the fact that the game is in our world now. That's what that end credit scene was, right? You're right. Yeah. And that was That was a fun little nod.
So, but now we're gonna tie back to the original. So,
but see, now they're opening up a territory of being compared to the original, though, right?
Yes.
So this is gonna be sketchy, you know.
But are we gonna have Bravestone and all those characters, or is it just now going to be the kids?
Yes, because in all reality, it should be. I don't know what it should be.
Right? Is it,
or should be all of them?
Or should the
avatars pop out and then the kids are there?
And now the avatars have to deal with being real people and actually getting hurt and not doing all the crazy things that they're used to doing?
Yeah, that could be it.
You know?
But then where do the kids come into it, right? Because someone has to play the game.
I know.
That's just weird.
I wonder if they'll be able to pull magic out of their hat with how flat that second one felt.
Yeah.
Right. So the one thing the one thing that I'm curious about, because of the world that we're in, I'm not trying to get all political and all that, but with how many things are being pulled because of the idea of, like, say, jokes of actors portraying other actors that are of color, apologizing for like, sorry, I made a skit when I was playing this guy, or, you know, or the blackface, which is terrible.
Yeah.
Or now a lot of white actors are stepping down from their voice acting. Yeah. They're realizing that in all the companies are finally realizing that maybe it's not okay that you play whatever color the idea that there should be that diversity should stick with, you should have a diverse cast then playing diverse characters.
Yeah, because if you're going to have the different colored people, then you should have voice actors.
Yeah.
As well.
So the question I have is does the next level get buried because Jack Black was playing a person of color? Right? Like, because he's very stereotypical.
Yeah.
Right. He was yelling a lot. He was saying damn a lot.
But I guess at the same time,
it was the character
that he was.
But where does that line go? Right? Where is it okay and where is it not okay?
I know it is kind of a gray area with that, because he wasn't. You know, it was supposed to be the kid playing that guy, right? So.
But that's just more or less my question. Is like what is going to be the line, right? Yeah. Like, now with the third movie, they could right any of those wrongs that could be seen questionable if the avatars come out and they are themselves.
Yes.
And finally the actors get to play what the video game characters are supposed to be, because we've never actually seen what the video game characters are supposed to be.
Yes, exactly.
So that would be a way for them to kind of shoulder those, like, questionable humors, even with honestly Jack Black playing the girl, there is a bit of, like,
there's that even a bit of a problem too,
you know, right? So that's one thing that they say, like, they've got a lot to course correct, I think, for the third. I would expect
Bravestone to be constantly smoldering all the time. That was a funny joke though, with him just randomly smoldering and just being
because it was Danny DeVito.
Yeah, so I thought that was funny.
It looks like you're having a stroke, like.
So there was a lot of good humor with that, for sure.
So there was some good moments. Like, definitely was. Like, it was laughter, but, you know, if you were like, hey, you want to watch Jumanji,
I'm not going to choose that one.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, most likely you're going to pick the Robin Williams one, but
there's that.
But out of the two new ones,
so of course I'm going to.
Right.
So,
but, you know, yeah.
So there you go. We watched that. Finally catching up on some other old movies.
2019 movies we hadn't watched.
So now it's some light and fluffy.
It's everyone's favorite segment. How can Mike and Katie ruin classic Disney animated films? Oh, wait, no, sorry. We watched classic Disney animated films for... I don't know. I got nothing.
No, he can't even try it.
Everyone missed it last week. They were like, "Hey, why don't you destroy our childhoods?"
I know, right? So we have two.
So
next up was Alice in Wonderland. This movie, you can't really destroy too much. I mean, it's already fucked up.
Well, yeah. She's not dead. We know that because she comes out the other end okay. You just know the entire movie.
I don't know if she's okay.
Well, sorry. the entire guess what? Alice in Wonderland is a form of schizophrenia.
Yes.
That's what it's about. It's plain and simple. She has hallucinations and she has illusions, and within
drugs.
Within her hallucinations have delusions.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, actually. There's many layers of it in itself.
The characters and all that, because basically all it is that
grandeur within her hallucinations and everything. Yeah.
And then there's paranoia, there's anxiety, there's depression.
Yeah, it's all the different elements
of every part of schizophrenia.
Yes.
Right.
All the different emotions are very extreme in their things.
Yeah, and like anything you know about it, it's all in there.
Yeah,
it's every single part in the murderous rampage, the like everything.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is I'd forgotten. You remember some of those key moments, but then you forget how many barrage of just weird little scenes after scene after scene is in there.
It's not really a complete movie. No,
it's just like it's snippets of scenes strung together.
Yeah,
and I think it's because what it's based on is such a big thing, and so it's just like, I like this scene. So it's her Adventures in Wonderland idea, right? And so it's not really a complete story, as opposed to say the live action Alice in Wonderland actually has like a purpose of this. There is no purpose to the Disney animated Alice in Wonderland. It is just, I'm bored and I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
So we're going to go off and follow the White Rabbit. There is no purpose other than just trying to move forward.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. So. Exactly. White Rabbit is anxiety.
When the caterpillar showed up, you're like, delusions of grandeur.
Yeah, delusion of grandeur. Hatter is depression.
Yeah.
And PTSD.
Yeah.
It's just there's all those little layers, and it's like
the Queen of Hearts is.
And the easiest thing is to say drugs, but when you actually look at it, it's not about drugs. It's because she crawls into a hole.
Yeah.
So depression.
Mm-hmm.
And experiences all these things, and she has all these delusions, and
yeah.
So unfortunately, she's just crazy. And in reality, what happens when she crawls out of those holes? And so, like in that time frame, she's all like, "Hey, everybody! I saw a white rabbit, and the clams, and this caterpillar was smoking and talking to me. Straight jacket, straight to the asylum."
Yep.
And then follows into your Grimm's fairy tale books. The Dark Tales.
Yeah.
Where her hallucinations and all that affect her more, and she's just batshit crazy and goes off and starts killing people because she cray.
Yep. So. Well, yeah, those graphic novels are so horrific because, it's destroyed her entire life because to her, they were the real things. And there's these, murderous animals out to get her, and it's destroyed her family, and all sorts of just mass chaos and horrificness happens, right?
So that's something that would be a fantastic thing to do for a movie. Would you do an Alice in Wonderland where Alice is the only one that sees all this stuff, and it's happening within the real world? Right? And like her adventure happens within the real world, and she's off like climbing things, but what she sees, and you have like flashes of her like climbing on mushrooms and shit.
This would be like real schizophrenia.
Yeah. And like having like panic attacks in the middle of the thing where the queen's attacking her, but like you have the people reacting to Alice's like panic because no one else can see anything. Yeah. And like all that, and to show just the insanity that it could be.
Yeah.
That's what we should do. We need to.
I want my Grimm's Fairy Tales graphic novel as a movie, though. I mean,
there's that too. Ultra violent, sexual,
super ultra violent, and yes, very much sexual. But because there's so many different, and then because then you have the children of Alice and the family and all that, the continuation. You have Alice's like brother and like all sorts of things, right? So. But definitely mental health. This has been a mental health episode.
Right, apparently.
Mainly schizophrenia, actually.
Yeah. Which is pretty wild. Yeah. So, unfortunately, I can't kill Alice yet. She may have killed herself later on.
She easily could have killed
Most likely the looking glass is when she slit her wrist, so...
So we'll just leave that there.
A little darkness for you.
But yeah, it was always a happy...
Darkness, my old friend.
Hello.
There you go. There's the light in the dark.
I always used to love this. I still love the movie for all its insanity and silliness. I love the it's easy to get caught in the, this is ridiculous, and the backwards stuff and the dragonfly horses and the rocking horses and I love the butterfly toast and everything like that. And those are fun, and the woods and everything like that, and the weird creatures. But it's impressive as you become an adult, though, and you look at it and you're like, holy shit, that stuff is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
As a child, that stuff is not okay.
Right.
And you get a whole nother sense of how twisted it is.
Mm-hmm.
And
we don't have that now in our writing.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird to see of how now everything's just dystopia, fiction, romance.
Mm-hmm.
For teens, like that era where like they were writing for things that were like more of like that age group, right? And back then it was like, here's all this trippy fucked up shit.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see, like, say for kiddo, movies that are things that are new to him. Say even the Disney movies, let's say. What is he going to think of in 20 years? In 30 years, whatever, when he watches them again, and is he going to be able to really have that fresh, are they going to have that same like change to him, or books and stuff like that he reads, because some of his books that he does read, you don't have that same leveling up of depth for a story, and having a different adult's view on something that is still okay for children.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how the world changes.
Because he tried to read the Jungle Book, the original, and he was just like, there's too many words in this. It's tripping me out.
Yeah, he got overwhelmed with it, right? So yeah. So next Disney movie. Next up was Peter Pan.
Peter Pan. Guess what? We did Hook last week. Peter Pan this week.
Peter Pan. I love the movie. I really do. But there was some new views on there in light of our world and being an adult in general to take on this movie.
You know what? The stuff I remember is the stuff that is the good. Yeah. And then you watch it as its whole. It's kind of like Dumbo, where it has a few of those, like, and this one has a lot. Not a few. There's a lot of racist shit in this movie.
There's no other way to say it. Well, to the point where Kiddo was like, damn. He didn't say damn, but he was like, this isn't okay.
He was getting ready for bed, and he came back down. He was like, can we talk about the racist stuff that was in that movie, guys?
Right? We're like, okay, wow, yeah. Then we were right in being like, holy crap, this is racist.
So there's that wonderment of like, and not one for erasing history, but is the scenes, could they create an edited version that maybe pulls out or reanimate?
I don't know. I it's hard because you don't want to just put a label on it, but I know that we watched our DVD copy, but I know they said on Disney Plus that they have the warning of depictions and everything, but it really would require parents to do what we did with Kiddo and sit down and really break it down and be like, this is what's wrong, this is what's not okay, these are the problems. Because if he was a little bit younger and not able to recognize them himself, he's just gonna look
if you have no one to talk about it, and you easily could fall into that trap of being that's what Indigenous people are. They're red and they're stupid. And that's what's sad is then you look at it, you're like, whoa, that's what I grew up with, right? Yeah. I grew up and I never felt racist myself, but at the same time, this is still part of what I grew up as a childhood. And I never sat down with my parents and talked about this. This never was a conversation of no, this isn't okay, and this isn't the correct depiction. Well, can you imagine if you were an Indigenous child and you're watching that? It's horrific to think about. Yeah. Because this would not be how you would not feel proud at all about that. No. You wouldn't feel like it was a proper representation. There was no, they tried to make up with it and try to paint them off as they were becoming buddies with them, and it trying to turn around to a good relationship, but there's so much negative language used towards them to start off, and then yes, their depictions and everything, and it
I can't fathom that feeling.
Like, it just, what's funny is I don't remember that part of the movie. Like, as I didn't actively remember it. I remember in the ride, I was like, the chief and all that, and I was like, he looks pretty goofy and weird. And I didn't actually remember that part of the movie. The full of, like, the song. Like, I remember the Tiger Lily part where they had to rescue her and all that. So that's why I'm wondering, like, can the movie be cut to remove that song?
They probably could remove that song and remove everything. The only problem that comes out of it, of course, is showing Wendy run off because she's jealous of Peter and Tiger Lily.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It just...
Well, it's interesting because then I've never read or seen anything of the original books or plays or anything, but they talked so much more of the romance that's actually between Pan and Wendy and how much she's just pining after him. And so then, but that's the only real moment that you really see in the movie was all of a sudden she's jealous of Tiger Lily. Yeah. And before you see more of the jealousy of Tink. Yeah. And so you wouldn't really need to get rid of that too much. You could try to morph it around, but yeah, I guess that it would be better to just cut it almost completely. Like
it's a hard one to say because unless you're gonna like do something else that's more active, of like popping up like a little like pop-up video moment, where they're like, you know,
more of like pointing out all the reasons why this isn't okay.
This is not a good cultural depiction, but
then you got to think, if you're still an Indigenous person still watching it, are those warnings really going to make you feel any better?
No, right? They're not. But to inform those that maybe
they don't have parents sitting there telling them it's not okay.
because if you're you know, there's going to be a lot of people that are like, oh, I got Disney Plus, whatever, watch whatever you want.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, we're good.
It's fine. Like, it's not just the animated. You're okay.
Yeah. And then you see that, and it's those moments where you look at it, and then that's even just me as in like with rewatching, because it's been a long time since I watched Peter Pan. Yeah. So it's not just the world now currently that's telling me that I need to be offended by this.
Because we're watching them through different filters.
Yeah. Like, in general, it's been, overall. I don't even remember the last time we watched it.
We remember a lot of these from their rides.
Yeah. And I think we were gone to Disneyland so much that we were on the rides, and you don't
hear the songs, you don't hear their kind of slide remarks and everything like that.
Yeah, and so that scene really bothered me, and it was like,
yeah,
it's hard to.
It's interesting with Peter Pan. Like, I love Captain Hook is an awesome villain because he's just so extravagant. And I like the underlying message of, you know, kind of that lesson of not letting go of childhood too quickly, not being too much of a rush to grow up, even as adults, not rushing our children to grow up, but finding that balance between things. Also, that it can be very harmful, though, to get stuck too much in childhood, right? And, you know, originally Peter Pan, the character, was created so much to represent childhood in its extreme and not letting go of things and all the complexities. I mean, he is not, he kind of looks more like a teenager feel, but he is definitely a child still. The way he handles everything. And so, but it's another one of those movies where there's a small message, but still not really a clear point story, right? So it's interesting to just see some of that it was more okay, opposed to, say, new Disney movies where there's very much a story, right? And so it's going to be fun as we watch through them to see the transition from a snippet of scenes strung together to more of a story, right? Yeah. And go from there. That's one thing I'm noticing too.
Yeah. So. And unfortunately, nobody died in this one either.
No.
Or did they?
No one fell out a window, or did they all jump out a window because they didn't want to grow up?
Maybe that's it. Maybe they all committed suicide.
Yes!
There you go. They all dead.
Sorry for that. Like, it's weird, horrible excitement that I had for that.
Right? Like literally, like Wendy
just jumped out the window.
Convinced them to jump out the window because
she couldn't split up. She didn't want to go move out of the nursery. So it's going to be like, we're all going to die here.
Drink the Kool-Aid. Yeah. And that's why when the parents come home and they're so horrified when they come in, it's not because they're just all there. Yeah. It's because they're ghosts.
Yes. There we go.
She became a woman in white.
Yes.
Oh, we did it.
We did it.
We did it. We ruined Peter Pan even more from you. If it wasn't because it was
already
racist.
Ruined because it's racist as hell. And
guess what? Wendy became a woman in white, and now she's haunting the house with the children because she was the sole caregiver to her brothers.
Yes.
Already with trauma from having to deal with
because they had a dog for a Nana, so, you know.
Right. So she convinced them all to jump out the window instead. And that's the whole Neverland thing is them jumping from the window till they hit the pavement. Because they have to like reconcile in their head.
Why it was okay.
Yeah.
There you go. We managed it.
Yeah. Wow. I feel really bad now. This is the first one I feel bad about.
Yeah.
Because it would involve children.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it got like really dark. I mean, smashed on the pavement intense. It wasn't like someone else took something out. It was like, yeah, that was harsh, man. But we could just leave it that we ruined because how freaking racist it is and how not okay.
But it's really only that scene.
You know what's funny too? When
that whole scene came out, like, there's nothing in it.
I loved mermaids growing up. I mean, well, okay, I loved Ariel, let's be honest. And I always wanted to love the mermaids in Peter Pan because they were just so pretty. And every time you see a picture of them, they're just so pretty. And then you watch the movie and like, holy hell, they are bitches.
But that's like real mermaid.
I know.
Stuff.
And it's so funny because then as a kid, I would watch them and be like, but they're just so mean. And then as an adult, you grow up and you're like, wow, those are really tame because sirens are scary.
I want more of the Pirates of the Caribbean mermaids.
Right?
I want those vicious,
mermaids are awesome.
Right? Like,
because, yeah, they were not made to be just wonderful, beautiful creatures. They were sirens or however you want to call them that were made to lure sailors to their death. They're alluring and conniving and beautiful, but then they're terrifying. And that's the mermaid that...
You ever think that really all it was just like the delusions from being out in sea for so long?
100%.
And the wind hitting the rocks and it'd be like, ooh, I hear things. And like, let's go over there.
Well, and it's like, yeah, because how much the caves will whistle and moan and stuff like that. There's all sorts of different sounds. But even just with like the Little Mermaid, with her jumping up on the rock with the water and everything, she kind of blends into that. If someone had seen that and seen some sort of shadow or a seal...
All right, yes.
You know, I'm sorry, it's probably a sea creature.
So we've already ruined Little Mermaid because in reality, Little Mermaid is just a seal. Think of that. Go watch Little Mermaid and realize that Eric is in love with a seal.
Trust me, I'm crying inside.
That's all it is.
But it's probably true.
That's what it was. We don't even have to watch Little Mermaid now because we know that it is a seal.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's a movie about bestiality.
Mermaids are definitely just... you know, scurvy-laden sailors imagining things on the rocks and walruses and seals. Mike's face right now is like, oh my god.
I didn't even know.
You're like, your crush from your child has been ruined. She's a seal. I can't get a mermaid tattoo now.
Like, oh my god. This whole episode, just everything is so dark. It's so twisty. It started so happy, and then it got dark, and then it got really dark, and then it got messed up. So hopefully...
that was everything we have.
We have totally destroyed those two Disney movies for you.
Yeah, potentially a third.
Yeah. Because now all I can think about is the sound that seals make when they're on there, and you think of Ariel when she's doing her and it's just the seal going right? Like,
Monterey will never be the same. Look at all the mermaids in Monterey, Mike.
Right? That's
what
it is, and that's terrifying to think of what the sailors would have wanted to do. Those poor seals.
That's why they got eaten alive.
Yeah, right? Oh, it's so bloody. And, you know, Tusk is not far off.
Another meeting now. Oh,
Kevin
God.
Smith, Tusk is real.
Anyways, we're going to... I think we're done.
Yeah, probably we should.
So what are we doing next month, Mike?
July is going to be... We got no puns. I'm sorry. It's going to feel forced if we pun this one.
It's Lord of the Rings.
We're gonna do Lord of the Rings.
I am making this happen. Look, I'm taking a stand because you keep wanting to change things, and I'm like, no.
Where did I want to change it to?
Batman. It's gonna be Lord of the Rings.
Oh, you know, I also wanted to Ghibli because there's more Ghibli
and
films.
Ghibli, and I'm definitely gonna watch Totoro again, but it's going to be Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So yeah, we'll come back because we're going to watch all 3 Lord of the Rings next month.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. And there'll be more other things because we like to drop random things on you, especially ruining your Disney childhood.
And probably Ghibli, too. We're going to watch some of that. That can be something.
I hope we're not going to ruin Ghibli.
We're not going to ruin Ghibli. That was a bad timing.
Or maybe
we're just going to add additions to it.
Yeah, there'll be lots of things.
So much. It's summer now. We can watch even more.
Everything. So, you know what? Stay rad.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. Want more rad content? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe, rate us, and leave us a review.
And remember, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes!